Welcome to Behind the Curl, where connection is created with one another through the sharing of the personal natural hair stories and experiences, as well as natural hair education brought to you by myself. I am a naturally textured curly hair specialist. I am also your host, Amy Bush, and I invite you to join me as we celebrate what is natural, beautiful, and authentic. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Curl with me as your host, Amy Bush. Oh my goodness, it is that time of the year. With all the rain and the moisture in the air and the humidity that's especially coming, the days are getting warmer as summer is almost here. Well, in a couple of months it will be. And let's talk about that 5-letter word that we don't want to say, frizz. And what kind of frizz is there and what to do about it? So, of course, if you know anything about me, you know I am immediately going to start to do a little bit of research. So I came across something that was interesting on naturallycurly.com, and they claim that there are 3 types of frizz. I didn't know this. And each one of these types of frizz have a name. So the first is surface frizz, and this is frizz you get only on the outside of your hair, not on the underneath. Halo frizz is only on the crown of your head, but doesn't appear anywhere else, and in the curl frizz. This is the kind that destroys smooth curls as it frizzes its way through them. Of course, there's a lot of different reasons for why frizz is going to show up at all of these different places on your head. However, I didn't think that this was enough information for you to know what to do about your frizz. So I'm going to start with telling you all the reasons that your hair can be frizzy. First will be genetics. The way your hair looks is how it was passed down through your DNA. Nothing we can do about that one. It just is what it is. Second can be products, and this can come from incorrect application. So maybe it's possible you didn't cover your hair well enough with your products. Damage can possibly come from shampooing too often and stripping any of the coating off of your hair. Or it can be a buildup of products, possibly from silicones or other waxy ingredients. Or maybe your choice of product just wasn't enough for your hair for that day. Third is mechanical, meaning you might be causing more damage to your hair during your detangling process. You may be even brushing with the wrong brush or the wrong comb, too many blowouts or excessive straightening with heat irons or any other heated tools. Fourth is chemicals. This would include any of the following that I'm going to mention: relaxers, texturizers, keratin treatments, curly perms, overprocessed color, bleaching, high lift color, and any other color damage. Fifth, environmental. The sun, wind, rain, water, and even the water that we apply to our hair, whether it be swimming or even just the water that comes out of our faucet. And then the location of where we live, because changes in minerals in the water from location to location can add to damage. And lastly, you need to take a look and see how much new growth you have. You know those short, annoying hairs that stick out and make you look like you've got this little bit of frizz going on? Well, all of those short hairs can be indicators of new growth. A good way to test for a comparison is to pull up a section of your hair, maybe 1 inch thick to 2 inches, and see the light coming through that section. Now look at the percentage of short hair versus the number of your long hairs. See what the density is as you're looking down through the strands. If the density is thicker towards your scalp than it is on the ends of your hair, then you may be experiencing some hair loss. The other thing you may be experiencing is broken hairs. Most likely those hairs have come from chemical or mechanical damage. If that is the case, then you will need to take another look at what is going on and make some adjustments in order to prevent more breakage and to repair the damage that has happened, and then to be able to grow out those short hairs. So those are some of the reasons that you may be seeing some frizz in your hair. So in other words, the more issues that you have, the more likely you are to see frizz. And even more so when it's humid outside. Humid air causes hydrogen bonds to form between water molecules and the proteins in your hair. And when that happens, the cuticle of the surface of the hair raises up. This in turn creates a rougher surface, and in fact, it's an open door which allows the water to come in and to go out. If your hair is drier than the moisture content in the air, it will try to balance itself out, and the force of the humidity in the air is going to cause this reaction. But on the flip side, if your hair is over-moisturized, then just like a sponge filled with water, it can no longer absorb any more water from the air, therefore causing your hair to become weak due to the swelling that is happening within the hair strand. So you need to have a balance between moisture and protein. Too much protein is going to cause the hair to feel dry and brittle. Not enough protein causes your hair to be floppy and too soft with too much moisture, not enough snap or spring. So see what your hair feels like. Compare it. And to get it, this is going to give you an idea of where to start. And regardless, I would also recommend adding a pH balancer and something with amino acids, as this is going to help close down the cuticle and create a smoother surface, as well as sealing in the correct amount of moisture. So some tips that I have for applying product. First, I would recommend having a proper brush available. This would be either a wet brush designed for detangling wet curly hair, or even a Denman brush, which is one of my favorites. And I would stay away from combs, picks, and wide tooth combs. Now, you can just use your fingers to separate the hair, which I would recommend anyways before applying any brush during your detangling. However, I do find that using the brush to smooth the product through the hair from roots to the ends is the most thorough application of the product that I can do. Using this approach, you will then be able to capture all of the smaller, shorter hairs, and in order to bring them together with the longer hairs so that it creates one consistent curl, as well as having a consistency in the application of your product from roots to ends. This is going to produce the smoothest curl surface you can get. And because of that, your style is going to last longer as well. A great benefit. And all good hair begins with the cleansing and the conditioning. So do not discount what feels like just basic stuff. And from there, adding in your styling products creates a longer lasting effect. Now, which product you choose is going to depend upon the type of hair and the type of curl that you have. And in my experience, it doesn't always matter what products you're using, but more importantly, how you apply your product to your curls is the most important. So I had given you a few things to think about and to experiment with, and I'm going to be wishing you happy frizz-free days. Thank you again for joining me this week, and I'm going to encourage you to get out there and enjoy this great weather, and don't be scared, because I think you can avoid the frizz, and I think you're going to be having a lot more confidence with your curls. So love your curls, frizz and all. Happy curl days.
If you have really enjoyed listening today and would like to have me address any questions you may have, or if you are inspired to be interviewed on this podcast with your story, with either your success journey, or you would even appreciate extra help with your curls, send all correspondence to me at ambushedcurlacademy@gmail.com. I would love to add your voice and inspire other listeners. Now, I have an opportunity that is special for all of you that are hairstylists, or maybe you are not, but you know a hairstylist. And if you were inspired by what you heard and seeking to expand your curl education, I would like to invite you to visit the Ambushed Curl Academy website. There you will find my online curl education course I created in order to inspire other hairstylists. If you have any questions, I can be reached at ambushedcurlacademy@gmail.com, and I would love to hear from you. Thank you for joining me today. It has been a pleasure to have this opportunity to celebrate natural curls with you. And until we meet again, love your curls and embrace the natural beauty that is uniquely you.